time machine wizard, fixing tech with glee. Old gadgets, new life, he's the chosen one. Every broken circuit, he's gonna get it done. From vintage TVs to your old cassette, with a trusty soldering iron, there's no regret. Turning back the clock, making them shine. Rolling Tide is magic, it's simply divine. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling Tide is on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing-year-old electronics, bringing them back. Zero in now, you're on the right track. He's got the flow, he's got the style. Every DIY hack makes it all worthwhile. Capacitors dancing, resistors in line. With a grin on his face, he's crossing the tide. From video games to the stereo beat, Rolling Tide brings the fix, can't accept defeat. Watch him unravel, watch him restore. Every click and pop, you're gonna want more. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling Tide is on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So gather round, folk, it's more than a show. It's a journey through time, come on, let's go. With every episode, the wonders unfold. Rolling Tide, a story to be told. No broken dreams in his workshop space, just a passion for fixing a welcoming place. Each step of the way, you'll want something new. From repairing a lamp to a classic Atari 2. With a twist of his wrench and a turn of the dial, you'll be flipping through channels in no time. We'll smile. Throw your hands up, it's a community vibe. Feel that electric pulse, feel that old tribe. Get your gear ready, let's spark up the chat. Rolling Tide is the name, remember that. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling Tide is on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So if you've got gadgets that need a good home, Rolling Tide is the place. No need to run, but never do flex, so feel the blast. Join the journey now, let's make tech last.
Okay, we're back again. So we're going to be building a version 3 of my Wattmeter. So for those who don't know, I built a couple of these different things for 2 people, including myself. So Jay got the very first one, as in JK18. He's got the very first Wattmeter that I built. It was one of them ones that I sort of threw together, and it's a little big, it's a little bulky, but it worked, it did the job. And then as time went on, I built, of course, version 2, which is, a little bit more compact, a little bit lower profile. It uses the computer IEC for an input and a regular panel mount outlet so you can plug into, and it gives you a display, gives you the volts, the amps, the wattage, the power factor, and a couple other parameters, stuff like that. So we're going to build version 3 here. So we're going to stick with the same basic box. Basically 2 things are going to change. Got a little bit of a different display, a little bit prettier, basically the same parameters and stuff like that. The only difference is instead of putting IEC connectors in it and an outlet, we're actually going to do a complete pass-through. We're going to do a pass-through model. So we're going to use an extension cord, and we're going to chop the cord, and we're going to make a pass-through Wattmeter for version 3 here. So got a couple of bits on the table here, so let's of course go over it. So the model of the Wattmeter it's from Amazon. It's the KWS AC301, and of course we got our nice little China in English. So we got voltage, we got current, we got a timer in it, we got electric energy, electric power, power factor, frequency, temperature. Oh yes, that's a new feature in this particular one, is the temperature. I don't believe it's in Fahrenheit. It is in Celsius, I do believe. Let's see, and then of course this one's got a little bit 3 buttons on it. So we got an up key, a function key, and a down key, and of course the operating instructions. So that's that. And of course we got I did a lot of pre-prep, so not to bore you guys to death with my silliness. So here's the panel meter. This is what they are, a panel meter. We got our little current sensing transformer that will go around our hotline of our extension cord. And of course some wires here for the voltage sense, and our little glands for our pass-through. And of course this is our little temperature sensor, and of course this is a waterproof box. So it's got the gasket, and we got the hardware to secure the top. So we'll move this out of the way, because more than likely this stuff will roll off, and the wonderful effect of gravity will make them disappear in a heartbeat. So we'll get that out of the way. So our first order of business is we got to cut a hole in our plastic cover here for our panel meter. So like I said, I've already found the center and took the measurements of the panel meter. So all we got to do is just start chopping away. So our tool of choice here is we're going to use a rotary tool to slowly creep up on the lines here, and then we'll custom fit for the meter. So we'll make some noise here early in the morning. So this is, polycarbonate, so it's going to get a little bit of meltage and a little bit of a mess and stuff like that. So we'll start creeping up on them. We'll cut on the inside of the lines, and then we'll start custom fitting this for this panel meter. So like I said, polycarbonate, so it's gonna melt. So we're gonna slowly ease into it, so we can get the bulk of this heavy stuff out of here. So that's our start of starting to custom fit this. So I pretty much got to start bringing it up toward the line now. I think we'll get some of this chunkage out of here. Make it a little easier. Maybe I should change to a little burr grinder. And then start custom fitting this. So now the question is, do I have one here? Because I move stuff around. Probably have to get another one. Get another little burr. And slowly start grinding toward that line. So we'll start slowly fitting our little panel meter here. So we only got like a couple of mils. So we got about 2 millimeters of play that we can be a little sloppy on, and yet the trimmer will still cover it. So we're almost there. Very, very close. Just a little bit more fine detail work. A little bit closer. Just trying to figure out where there's some high spots. Okay, getting closer. A little bit more. Okay, so that'll go in pretty nicely. I'll just do a little bit of flat filing to make that a little bit neater. Not that it matters, nobody will see it, because the trim will hide that. So it should be pretty good. Now it's just a matter of cleaning this mess up. Get the vacuum cleaner out. Okay, so it takes care of that. So that should fit nicely. Take off the temporary marker. There. Lots of dust now. Should just snap into place. That takes care of the fitting of the panel meter. So now we'll work on our electrical box. So like I said, we're going to do a pass-through. So we got these weather glands, also as a strain relief. So we'll drill for the holes. So like I said, this is going to be a pass-through. So we're going to have the wires hanging off to the bottom of the meter here. So our glands are going to go right about here. Could go in the middle, doesn't really matter. I already chose to put them on the sides here, so that you know, you can look down and see all the little pretty wires in there and connections and all that other good stuff. So we'll punch a hole in the sides of the box with a Forstner bit. Make some more of a mess. First hole. Clean the burrs up a little bit. Then we'll drill our second hole. Using my freshly rebuilt last week's live stream battery pack. Okay, so that should take care of that. So we'll put our glands in. I almost drilled it perfect where one of the standoffs in there actually holds the nut. That's pretty cool. Doesn't have to be super tight because it's only plastic. takes care of that. So we'll take off some more of that temporary marker I got on here. It's actually dry erase marker. So in other updates, of course I haven't been working on some of Jay's stuff for a little while, because I got my own little projects I also have to get done. The strobe light, I tried a new transistor in it, and it still won't fire. I think I know what the problem is. I just can't identify the component that might be bad. So since there's no schematics and there's no part numbers on the board or identifiers of the part in question, I don't know what it is. So I restored it to original condition as it arrived here, and we will sister on a newer, more modern board, and then custom treat it to make it work in the original condition. So now all we got to do is put our wiring in. So I'm going to take our 6-foot extension cord in here, and we're going to chop it. So I chose to go down about 18 inches. So you got plenty of back wire. So we have our 3-wire set up here. So we will pass through our wire. And of course, one side will go in one way and the other side will go in the other way. So we'll go in one way, go in this way. So now we'll just do our connections here. Of course, now that these are in here, this is probably going to be a little bit bigger, longer than 6 foot, I should say. So now it's just a matter of stripping off the jackets. It might be easier to do it out of the box for the time being. Of course, they need to match. So they're only going to be the length of the Wago for our reconnection. So we just need to work at this insulation here, just to strip it off without cutting the wires. Okay, so we got our traditional wire colors. Black is our hot. We got kind of like a gray, should be aka white for our neutral, and then we got our green for ground. For that, so now we'll just do the same thing on this side. Might have to strip a little bit more, but we'll see. Probably will, just to have enough room. We got enough box in here. Yeah, we can go do a little bit more. It's all custom. Of course, some will say, well, why bother making one when you can just buy one off the shelf? But you can. It's always fun to do something DIY. Okay. We got that. We'll just make a little mark here. Strip that. So what we're going to do is, instead of soldering and stuff like that, we're going to use our little Legos here, aka the modern equivalent to a wire nut. And this is probably about the maximum size of this they can handle 12 gauge wire. So these little guys, they got a little gauge on them of how much is strip. So I think it's 11 millimeters. Yeah, about 11 millimeters. So let's see, where's 11 millimeters on here? Just short of the curved part. Not that it matters, because if it's a little too long, you just trim it. So what is that? That's about 10. That's close enough. Because we got to piggyback on another wire on one side of this thing anyway. Okay. So we'll start that side. Just tighten this gland a little bit, just so it holds it. I'm spinning around. While I work on the other side. Okay, so now we got to do our power wires for our meter. So we're going to piggyback on this side. Of course, this is ultra fine wire. I'll probably end up cutting the wire too. Kind of like rubberized insulation. Probably what I'll do is I'll stick that in there. And then put the big wire in there at the same time. Kind of like doing a wire nut. You put your finer gauge wire in the nut, and then you put your larger wire behind it and twist it at the same time. So, it's more wire out. Of course, our ground's going to be just a pass-through. Then we got to put our little core on. So he's going to live there. A little long. Okay, so that's that. Now just a matter of getting these other wires in here. We got to do the same for our neutral for our panel meter. So we can put him on that side for now and get him out of the way. Okay, there's our connections for the main wiring. So now we'll slide our little coil back over. I have to twist this. So everything's on one side. Just like that. So now it's just a matter of hooking up our meter connections. So like this thing has a temperature sensor. So just for now, we'll just leave it all coiled up and bundled up. And stick that in there. So let's see, the connections are toward the bottom. So I'll have to use some tweezers to get that in there. So you'll live like that, or off to the side, or something like that. And we just got our wires we gotta hook up. Next question, does it fit? Oh yeah, we got plenty of room. Lots of room. So we'll put a little zip tie on that coil. Maybe two. Just so it doesn't move around. Give it more accurate reading. I think one's good enough. Of course, what's nice about this is that having a clear top, you got to take it apart and see what's inside it. So we got our connections here. So if you don't know anything about these little meters here, you got 4 sets of connections. The first set on this particular one at the top is for our little coil. So that's our little sensing aspect of this. And then our other 2 wires, so that the coil is going to do your amperage testing and wattage and all that stuff. So some of it is calculated, some of it is live, and then the rest of it is just as is. And then our other connection there is just for the voltmeter section of this particular panel meter. So we got our line and neutral, and for the panel voltmeter, and then the actual sensor for the meter here. So we'll hook that up. So I already put ferrules on here just because this wire is so fine. So we got our neutral for number 3, so we'll put that on. So it's first one in hand, really. Make sure our connection's good. Put our line in. We got plenty of wire to service wire in case you need to take it apart. Ain't struggling with wires. And then we got our other connections, and it don't matter which one goes to what. Just a transformer. Final connection. That's all nice. Probably put a couple of spots of glue on there. Because this plastic is kind of thick. Unless I can pop them little tabs out. Probably not. Because this is meant for really thin material. So this plastic is a little bit thicker than the little jump tabs come out. But I will address that a little later. But let's get this hooked up and see if it works. So this is a waterproof one. So we got to put our little gasket in. So we'll tighten these up. So the trick with this stuff is, if you ever put this in, is don't stretch it. Just slowly push it down in the groove. And then start on a flat, so when you do trim it, it's a little easier to work with. Then when we come to the end connections, usually what you do is just cut it a little longer, just a tick longer. And then just work it in. Okay, so that takes care of that. It's just a matter of putting the screws on. There we go. I guess now the final thing is plug it in. See what comes to life. So we'll clear some crap out of here. Pick up all these little pieces of insulation. Well, that's interesting. Oh, the battery's dead. Well, do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, now we just gotta plug it in. And then hook up a load. So, plugging it in now. Oh, we got power. Hot damn. So this is a lighted plug. So it's always going to measure a little bit of a load on it, which is fine. Look at that nice, pretty screen. Wow, that's nice. Get a little closer. Ooh. Sexy. Okay, let's plug something in. See our 120 volts. .60 hertz. Times. Let's see. What do we got? I got my styling brush. See how many watts that sucker draws. So we'll put it on cool. So about 190 watts, amp and a half. Put it on low heat. So we got about 422 watts or 4.3 amps. Put it on high. So 1,090 watts. So this one, when it automatically goes over to 1,000 watts, it measures kilowatts. Drawing almost 9.1 amps. Power factor of 0.99. So that's pretty cool. So what's the nice thing here is since we got a actual extension cord, we can actually don't have to be concerned about overloading the outlets or IEC connector or panel mount. Like version 2 here, where you know technically they're only rated for about 15 amps, but you know we're gonna push it if we can do it. So let's try a good old-fashioned heater. I should say modern equivalent to a heater, a ceramic heater. Here's your everyday basic heater. ceramic heater, Utilitech. Plug that in. So what do we got? We got fan, low, high, and eco on this particular one. I don't know why they put eco on there. It's kind of stupid. Okay, so let's put it on fan. So about 2.8, 2.9 watts ish. Let's put it on low. Of course, the wattage is starting to go up as the heater warms up. So 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. So 900 was the peak, and it starts coming down as the ceramic elements start coming up. The temp settles down to about 600 watts. 620, 5.1 amps. So let's put it in nuclear. So 1100 watts, 1200 watts, 1300 watts, 1400 watts. So pretty close to its advertised short little burst of 1500 watts. Hovers around there. So about 12 amps, 1400 watts. So let's try this, whatever this eco mode is. About 880 or 7.4 amps. Creeping up to about 900 watts. $910. About 910 watts. Eco mode. Eco. Put it back to fan. We'll cool off for a minute. That's pretty cool. So that works. So that's nice. So a little bit nicer display. We'll plug in version 2 here. So same size box. Just different connections now. Of course, version 2 has to boot up for a minute. So there's the two displays side by side. Let's see if I can get it on the camera. Kind of nice. So definitely the newer display is a little bit nicer, especially on camera. Of course, I think the version 2 is just viewing angle, really. So a little bit nicer display, a little bit more information. Sometimes that's important to certain people, sometimes not. A little bit better viewing angle for average Joe. So that's nice. So we'll put that off to the side. So you're probably asking why. Well, this particular meter might go to a home if the current one is not found. I guess it fell into the abyss and it's lost forever, maybe. Or it might stay here. I don't know. We'll find out when that time comes. Get some more stuff out of my way. There. So that's nice. We had a nice, successful build of that. So really the only thing I got to do is just secure that meter better, since this polycarbonate is so thick. So we can do that. We'll use some... where'd it go? That disappeared. Did it fall? Yeah, it did. Fell behind the abyss. Just some UV resin. So we'll do that, and probably about wrap it up for this particular live stream. So we'll just pop this top off. Since we had a successful build. Send the screws flying. So we'll just put some, push it in all the way. We'll just put some resin on there. A couple of spots. Just to hold it. So I got this, this is actually like crafting UV resin for like putting on your bedazzling and stuff like that. But I actually got actual UV glue that is used for repairs. But I got a brand new bottle. I don't really want to open it unless I need to. But this stuff works just as good. So all we got to do is just keep it from popping out. That's all it has to do. It doesn't have to secure anything, because you're going to be pushing down if you use the function on the meter. So there. that pretty much concludes this little build. Just have to secure it back up again. Of course, once this is held together for a little while, this gasket won't pop off. So all I got to do is just get my grubby fingerprints from the inside. Okay, happy with that. I really love these Wago connectors. I've been using them for a couple of years now for different projects. Pretty much it is, I started using these things when I did that ceiling fan capacitor change, and I custom did all the wires shorter. And it was easier to use the Wagos than it was to try the the crimp end connectors or the really small wire nuts and stuff like that. So if they're good enough for 3-phase 208 or 460 HVAC systems that the pros use, it's good enough for the average homeowner with 120. What's going on with that one? So a nice little meter here. Got to use some power tools and my rebuilt DeWalt battery pack. Build a couple of more in the future. Takes care of that. So we'll do our little final test here. Fires right up instantly. That's what's nice about this one too. You don't have to wait for the boot up. Just fires right up. It gives us the our little parasitic draw. Little parasitic draw of our little neon lamp. So at least we got a true 15 amp testing rig here for most of our common stuff. So I think this has 2 samples per second, I believe, because I got this from Amazon, and I believe that's what the sampling is. Operating instructions. Does it really? No, I don't really sell any specs, but on the listing on Amazon, if it's even true, it's 2 samples per second. So that's good. Our nice little meter here. So like I said, it might stay here, might have a home. If it's not found by the time I return certain things to somebody. Let's see, OBS still working? Wow, it's still working. So there. So nice little rig. Of course, like I said earlier, for some people, it's like, well, why would you want to build one and when you can buy them? already made. You just plug it in the wall. Well, it's not as cool as this one. This one's got a cord for remote or something weird. So that's that. Save that in case I need it or somebody else needs it. Don't know. And then let's see. Of course, I did say I was talking about earlier the strobe light. For those who don't know yet, I still haven't fixed it. Probably not going to fix it. Going to have to put a new board in that's more modern and a little bit simpler, because there's one component on there I can't identify what it is. It acts like a diode, but I don't think it is. I think it's something special for the timing. I tried a new transistor. It still doesn't fire. It doesn't fire up the high voltage trigger. Transformer is not firing. Whatever triggers that is not working correctly, or maybe something blew up and maybe there's a missing trace or something like that. I really don't know. Like I said, I'm just a hobbyist, so it's easier if it's not out in the open bad or can be tested bad, and I really don't know. So just to make it work, and that's all that really counts, is to retrofit it. So we'll put a new modern board on there. I think that's due today to come in, and then we'll modify that to fit that existing enclosure, because really the only thing that matters is that distance between the back plate and that socket for that Xeon strobe. So when it pokes out through the reflector, it's the same distance. So we'll work on that, and when Jay is watching, I do have your MOBs. I believe that's what they're called, MOBs, or variable resistor. So here's two brand new ones, chunky little buggers, and 20 cents cheaper than Amazon. So I had a order for a Mauser, so I threw them in the cart, and here they are. So hopefully that will get his bug zapper working again. So other than that, only other thing that I've been working on or checking out is Jay's light organ. Of course, I watched the recent video, I think it was last week or something like that, or week before, where you're just tapping on it and you wanted to put a little speaker in there or something like that and make it more sensitive. But what I found is a broken solder joint, so it kind of gives the reason to believe that every time he banged it, it started working again until it decided not to work. So other than that, the only other thing that I got that I might try putting in it is I got them here, so using them for other projects. Something else that I had is these little microphones. So we might put a more sensitive microphone in it, just for shits and giggles, to see if it improves it. Because there's really, like I said, I'm only a hobbyist, like playing around with electronics. So adding an amplifier into it is beyond my capability. So it has to be simple. So changing out a microphone is simpler than trying to stick a variable sensitivity amplification system into it. It was never designed to have one in it, so it was designed to work as it was. So really the only thing you do is just put a simpler or a more sensitive microphone in it and see if it works. And then we've got that other little kit, light organ type thingy. And then we got to check out his answering machine that I worked on, see why it's not powering up. And then we still got to mod our little light here to RGB. Of course, I showed that in one of my earlier live streams, what I'm going to do in it. So for those who don't watch, go back to that one, watch it, and see what I'm going to stick in it. And then we also got to get the backlight working in it full time on it. Maybe dumb down the brightness a little bit, and then of course swap out the tricolor unicorn info globe and put the battery back up in it, and because it's in the other one, so just swap it over. Swaptronics and call that, and then maybe make a little something special for them, and then after that we'll ship some stuff back to Uncle Jay. So, how long have we been going? Almost an hour and a half. So that was pretty good. How many we got? We got 92 unique views, and I think there was a total of 3 concurrent viewers. So, who's still watching? Come on, you got to be the secret admirer. Leave not even a single comment in the chat. What the hell? Oh well. At least somebody watched. So, for those who watched the whole live stream from start to finish, thanks for watching. For those who watched the replay in abbreviated form, make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe, and all other good stuff. And we will see you in the next live stream. So, take care.
Rolling through the channels, what do I see? A time machine wizard fixing tech with glee. Old gadgets, new life, he's the chosen one. Every broken circuit, he's gonna get it done. From vintage TVs to your old cassette, with the trusty soldering iron, there's no regrets. Turning back the clock, making them shine. Rolling TARDIS magic is simply divine. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling TARDIS on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. He's got the flow, he's got the style. Every DIY hack makes it all worthwhile. Capacitors dancing, resistor in line. With the grin on his face, he's crossing the tide. From video games to the stereo's beat, rolling TARDIS brings the fix, can't accept defeat. Watch him unravel, watch him restore. Every creak and pop, you're gonna want more. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling TARDIS on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the mic track. So gather round, folks, it's more than a show. It's a journey through time. Come on, let's go. With every episode, the wonders unfold. Rolling TARDIS, a story to be told. No broken dreams in his workshop space, just a passion for fixing, a welcoming place. Each step of the way, you'll learn something new. From repairing a lamp to a classic Atari 2. With the twist of his wrench and a turn of the dial, you'll be flipping through channels in no time or smile. Throw your hands up, it's a community vibe. Feel that electric pulse, feel that old tribe. Get your gear ready, let's spark up the chat. Rolling TARDIS is the name, remember that. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling TARDIS on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, rolling them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So if you've got gadgets that need a good home, Rolling TARDIS is the place, no need to roll. With every new fix, and you'll feel the blast. Join the journey now, let's make tech last.